You can start by introducing yourself. What's your name? What's your role?
Sure. My name is Patrick York, the Corporate Quality Director for AdvancedPCB. So I oversee the quality management systems for all AdvancedPCB locations, and also play a key part in rolling out corporate initiatives.
What brought you to the PCB industry?
My mother, actually, she was a QC inspector back in the day, and I was going to school for accounting, and I realized quickly I hated it. She got me a job at a smaller board shop, a family-owned board shop, and kind of the rest is history. Yeah.
Very cool. Tell me a little bit about AdvancedPCB and some of the A&D work you all do.
Yeah, so A&D makes up more than 50% of our business as a corporation. We have 3 facilities. We have 6 total facilities, but 3 of them are geared towards the aerospace and defense, this being one of them in Chandler, Arizona, and Maple Grove, Minnesota. Yeah.
Tell me about first article inspections.
Sure. So AS 9102 reports have become a daily norm across all facilities, not just aerospace and defense. We see it more and more from commercial customers as well. So yeah, the documentation has become a big part of what my QC team is responsible for.
What are some of the challenges you faced before ground control relating to AS 9102s?
The learning curve was pretty long for QC inspectors to kind of get used to the existing software that we were using. It did have quite a few glitches with the AI software that it was using to kind of scan over and translate drawing notes onto the format. I would say just people having to learn that software was a little difficult. Yeah.
Did you have any folks doing it in Excel, or everyone was using the software?
All sites are using the Discus software, but because of all the errors that it was making, they would always have to import it into an Excel spreadsheet and make their modifications manually.
How did you come across the ground control software?
I had several colleagues that are in the same industry reach out and say, hey, you got to check these guys out. You have to check ground control out. And I got to be honest, I was a little hesitant at first because I had just renewed my corporate licenses for the existing software. So it just wasn't like a priority at the time. But there was a good friend of mine who I respect a lot. He did a lot for me in my career. He reached out and said the same thing. So I was like, all right, let me reach out to Mahul. And I was blown away by the demo. Even after, spending the money on the corporate licenses on the existing software, it was still worth the transition.
How has your experience been with ground control in terms of onboarding and support?
The onboarding process has been pretty seamless. I don't see any impact to the daily production that they're responsible for. The learning has been really quick. They pick it up really quick and they're ready to rock and roll on it, within 30 minutes.
What are some of the results you've achieved as a result of using ground control, and how does that relate back to your core objectives as a director of quality?
Sure, I like to really show off what we were able to accomplish in the Chandler division. The time that you came on board, I had a new CMM operator and inspector who probably had 2 weeks under her belt, and you came in, you onboarded, you did the training, and in their first month, she was able to accomplish, 35, 38 fairs in that month, and they've been increasing that number every month so far. So only having one operator dedicated to doing these AS 9102s and still being able to achieve that has been a big accomplishment for that division, especially since before she started, that was their biggest backlog. And we don't hear about that backlog at all anymore.
Do you have anything else you wanted to say in general about either ground control, or it could be about yourself, what your goals are, what your standards are, anything else you want to say?
Sure. Some of the core objectives that I'm looking to achieve across all facilities is continuous improvement. I'd say, implementing the software is a part of that, and, making this particular job a lot more easy, especially for new employees that are, just coming in, very minimal experience. This makes for that job to be very easy and trainable. And automation, this would fall under that as well. Automation and just making, jobs that we're used to seeing very manual and time consuming. We're looking for opportunities to, streamline processes and make them a little more automated. And I've enjoyed working with you guys. I consider myself young in this field, and part of why I was brought on board was to bring new and innovative ideas to the company. And so getting the opportunity to work with other young and innovative people like yourself at Ground Control seemed like a great idea. Yeah.
What made Ground Control stand out to you?
Yeah, definitely the first thing that stood out was your marketing for error-free reporting. It's not something that we get with any existing software out there that are commonly known. So it's more than just advertisement. I think you guys really delivered on that, how it highlights errors in real time and really makes them obvious so that they can fix them before we ever submit to a customer. Yeah, and then the second thing I would say is the interface. The interface itself is very user-friendly, very trainable, even for new operators. And then the last thing is the onboarding for you guys to be placed on our AVL has been seamless because you guys already came in with your assessment being done and your ITAR registration. So protection of CUI is critical for what we do, and the fact that you have that covered made for a seamless onboarding. Yes.
What would you tell someone who's struggling with fares today and is considering Ground Control?
I would say if you're looking to streamline your QC process, I would definitely check out Ground Control. It's fast, it's easy, it's very intelligent, and it's going to keep up to date with the industry demands. It's always evolving, and there's a lot of automation in it. Yeah, so I think that's the greatest benefit. It's been a real game changer for AdvancedPCB.
How did you get to be a corporate director of quality at such a young age?
Well, I compare my life to a movie called Slumdog Millionaire, where you just happen to have these experiences in life that benefit you and propel your career forward. I started at a small family-owned board shop as a lab technician with no experience at the age of 21, and try to learn as much as I could. That particular facility didn't have any process engineers, so the operators, the inspectors, the lab techs, we were all our own process engineers, and that gave me a lot of experience in learning about the manufacturing process for printed circuit boards. From there, I took a much larger role. I kind of jumped from a lab technician to quality manager for, at the time, the second largest PCB manufacturer in the US. And I was kind of thrown into the fire, but I learned a lot there as well, and a lot of the skills I learned at the previous place translated really well to a corporate setting. And then from there, I worked at a couple other board shops, and APCT saw my value at my age and the experience that I have, that they believed in me for supporting their corporate initiatives. So it's definitely been a journey, and I'm excited to see where else this career will take me.